This Christmas, we put up new lights in front of our house in Durham. And they're very pretty, and they're small, red and green, and they're LED lights that are wrapped around the two pillars that I have on the front porch. And because they are solar powered, they automatically turn on and glow beautifully, all by themselves at sundown. I don't have to do anything. And then they go off all by themselves later that night. I am reminded of this also when I hear those readings that we heard today, because the feast of the Epiphany, along with Christmas, the Epiphany is a feast of God's glowing presence among us. God provides the light for all of us who are in the dark, and we glow when we receive it. Today, the Magi, usually associated with wisdom, they get to come close to the light. They do homage, and then they glow by what they see. Their lives are altered, or as Matthew tells us, they departed to go to their country by another way. You see, you can never follow the same old ways once we have seen ourselves and the world by God's light. That Isaiah reading that Kirsten proclaimed also sounds as though the people have just emerged from a darkness. A light's been switched on for them. Your light has come. The glory of the Lord shines upon you. That's a wake-up call for those who have been living in the gloom of the shadow of death. And that darkness, my friends, is profound. It is likened to the darkness that covered the abyss just before God created the whole universe. And only God can create a light that can enter such a darkness. The prophet reminds us of this, and that the darkness still lingers. It still covers the earth. There's thick clouds that cover the people. But that's not the end, thank God. Because God will not let the darkness reign supreme. See, the prophet tells us, upon you the Lord shines. For us believers, there is light. God is coming upon us with a light to direct us, to pierce the darkness of our sin and ignorance. But with God's great gift comes to us great responsibility, because others are going to walk by that light that we have received. Just like Christmas lights, a light is going to shine on us and we will glow, and then our responsibility is to reflect that light, God's light, for everyone else, so that all can see in the darkness. Somebody switched on a light, and those who once dwelled in darkness can now see an open door. And so they approach, and they enter, and they are welcomed by others upon who that light has already shone. That, my friends, is exactly the same experience that the Magi had. They are outsiders. They see a light and leads them to an open door. And upon entering the house, we're told, they see the child with Mary, his mother. This year, 2025, is brand new, and there is still much darkness on the horizon. We look at the days and the months that are in front of us, and we wonder about how those suffering in severe economic collapse, we wonder how they will fare. We wonder, when will the conflict and strife in Israel and Iraq, China, North and South Korea, Ukraine, Russia, our own government, and our own church, when will all that strife come to an end? When will peace finally rule people's hearts? Well, Isaiah and the Magi remind us that God will never abandon us. He will always shine our dark winter days with that beautiful, warm, glowing light. Will things get better immediately? Hardly. But the Magi represent those of us following the God-provided light. It shines. It shines both on the insider and it shines equally on the outsiders. A way has been lit brightly. A path has been shown to us. And we must continue to live by that light that we have all seen. And so we pray at this Eucharist for clear minds, for courageous hearts, for the perseverance to stay on that glowing path that Jesus has given to us. A way of forgiveness, a way of reconciliation, a way of peace. If His is the path that we are to follow, then we too are going to shine in the darkness. And when we do that, we will be guides to everyone else. We will help them find their way home. And what happens then? Then they become bearers of the light. When I was a kid, the feast day of the Epiphany, that was always the day that we took down the Christmas decorations. But I know now that the Epiphany is not the end of the story. It is, in fact, the beginning. What difference will the Epiphany make in our lives? Will we accept the one who not only lies in a manger as a brand newborn, but also gets rejected? Throughout this coming year, we're going to hear Jesus' preaching, we're going to observe his good works, and we're going to follow him to his death, and then we get to experience his resurrection. This is a year of so many epiphanies for all of us. And so when we leave the church and the crib today, let us have the confidence that no darkness we face can put out the light that burns and glows within us. Let's all resolve that we will continually turn towards that glowing light that we have seen and bow down to absorb that glow and then carry that light back into the world. Let that be our New Year's resolution, because we can never settle back into a comfortable piety and complacency. There is so much up ahead. So let's pack up. Let's keep searching and follow the one that we call the light of the world.